is everybody? Why is it almost as if all the people in the world have disappeared? Could you be the very last human left alive? You frowned, then you pressed. Your entry to the castle secured. You then take a step forwards. The door swings shut behind you as the resultant slam makes you jump. You did not expect it. Your heart knocks against your ribs, and with wild eyes, you glance about. You are standing in a vast entrance hall made of stone, which splits off any number of passages. At the very end of the hall, meanwhile, there is a large, elaborate staircase, one which seems to extend to the heavens themselves. It is dark inside the hall, but there are numerous torches set in sconces in the stone walls, which are aflame. They offer some relief from the shadows. You can hear the faint sound of the wind outdoors as it moans against the castle's impervious walls, but you cannot hear any footsteps. You cannot hear any voices. You cannot, more importantly, hear any people. Maybe the castle is empty. If that is the case, though, who lit these torches? It is a curious conundrum. You muster up what remains of your courage, then cry out, addressing the empty hall in timorous voice which fails to properly fill up the space. "Hello," you say, your eyes wide. "Is anybody there?" Your voice echoes through the vast empty hall, but it is met yet again with silence. You cannot say you are too surprised, but it is somewhat disappointing. Not one to be deterred, you try again and again, your voice growing louder with each subsequent attempt. No matter how loud your voice, however, it fails to reach any ears. If anybody is here, they do not seem to be particularly sociable. That, or perhaps they simply cannot hear you. Could they be in another room? Yes, that must be it. You will never find that pretty fairy tale princess of your imagination if you stand idle, you know. Mam cały czas dziwne wrażenie, że czeka nas... Wiem, że w tamtym poprzednim praktycznie nie było wyborów, dlatego teraz się boję, że w sumie może było po prostu, że nie mieliśmy wyboru. It is time to get to work. Put those legs of yours to good use. Proszę, nie więcej. Not knowing what else to do, is there anything else you can do? You begin to explore. You examine the rooms first on the ground floor of the castle, which are of a similar scale to the impressive entrance hall, large and richly furnished, but utterly unoccupied. After some time of aimless meandering, encountering nobody save the ghost of eons past realized on portraits upon the walls, you muster the courage to ascend to the second floor. This floor, too, you examine, wandering through a seemingly endless series of hallways until at long last you find the door, which is ajar. From between the cracks in the door and the jamb, you can see flickering lights. Irregular, yes, but it is light nonetheless. Could it be from a fireplace? That would suggest then that this room is occupied, unlike all the others. Perhaps the kindly princess you dreamed of will be waiting you in this room. It is with a trembling hand that you press your palm against the door. You push. Then you step inside the bedchamber, which unveils itself to you. Shyly, you stand in the threshold of the chamber, much of your courage extinguished, and gasp. The bedroom itself is gorgeous. It is a chamber of luxuriance. Not even the shadows can obscure the fine craft of the furniture within it, nor the rich patterns on the walls. It is the girl inhabit the chamber, however, who truly takes your breath away. Urocza. Sitting upon the velveteen sheets of the towering four-poster is a girl in a sumptuous red gown who seems to be of a like age to you. You do not have a clear view of the girl's face. Her head is bowed, her gaze directly downward at her lap. You can tell from her hair, however, and from her slender calves, which protrude from beneath the hem of her dress, that she is very pretty. The girl's hair is golden, just like freshly cut wheat, but it is the red of her dress which truly captures your attention. She's so striking that you cannot look away from her. The girl is not alone in her chamber either. She has a companion, though this companion is not half so endearing as she. In her lap, perched upon her velvet skirt, is a doll. The doll's hair, like that of her mistress's, is golden, though much of it is hidden beneath a bonnet. The girl is adjusting the china teacup held in the doll's tiny hand, while the rim of the cup glints in the light which exudes from the fireplace. If the girl is of a similar age to you, it seems strange that she would content herself with playing with dolls. Is she not too old for this? This girl must be more at home, he decided, at a ball wearing an extravagant gown, speaking with wealthy noblemen, perhaps even princess. She should not be sitting in what you presume is her bedchamber, adjusting her teacup in a doll's hand. But you are not afforded much more time to stand there, marveling at the girl, because she turns. She raises her head, then her eyes yours. You thought the girl pretty when first you observed her, sitting on the edge of her plush velveteen bed, examining her doll. Now she is looking at you. However, her face illuminated by the flames in the grate, you can see that you were mistaken. She is not just pretty, she is beautiful, so much so it is breathtaking. She looks as though she has stepped out of a page of a picture book. She is simply too perfect to belong in this world. Perhaps she is some kind of vision, a waking dream, a hallucination. But no, she's none of those things. The doll on her lap is a cold, hard thing made of porcelain. It is unflinchingly, reassuringly real. If she were a mirage, surely she would not be able to handle physical objects such as this. It is strange though. The doll, though immaculately made, looks oddly imperfect when compared to the girl who is holding it. She is so strangely beautiful, she even puts man-made representations of feminine charms to shame. The sight of her makes you feel rather weak. You always have had a fondness for fair maidens, haven't you? Ooh. You are rather hopeless when it comes to them, even worse than a knight errant from a courtly legend. Your aesthetic appreciation is not particularly ladylike, but, well, it is not every day a girl encounters an elegant beauty like this, attired in red, illuminated by the firelight. I suppose I can forgive you for this rudeness, as can the girl. She does not seem to be the type to hold a grudge. Oh, the girl says in a voice that's surprisingly enough far less refined than her appearance. It is good to see you. I've been waiting. Has she? That is news to you. You blink, perplexed as a response on the tip of your tongue, but you are unable to expel it from the ether. The girl is setting her doll aside, then she stands, the hem of her dress swishing about her legs. Nimbly like a ballerina, she canvasses space between you. Her room is so very large there is quite a lot of space. Then takes your hand in her own. You must, the girl says, her eyes aglow with excitement, be my new lady's maid. It's been a while, but it's such a relief you've finally arrived. I knew that you would. You'd never leave me alone. Not when you knew how long I was waiting. Oh, I'm so happy. The girl's good mood is contagious, so much so you find yourself being swept away in it. You are tempted to accept any identity she might press upon you. You have never been a maiden before, but you might not mind being this girl's maid. She does not seem like a poor mistress to serve, not if she is always this kind. You cannot mask the confusion, however, which flickers across your face. You are not a good enough actress, and in any case this is all happening too quickly. Why? You barely know this girl. Why is she being so very familiar? It is with blank bovine eyes that you examine the girl. Your befuddlement is pronounced enough that even the girl despises. Her good mood notices it. She frowns. Then she says, her fingers sliding away from your own. Oh, am I mistaken? Are you not my new lady's maid after all? The disappointment in girl's face is abundant, so much so your heart clenches. You do not know her. She is still a stranger, but you are struck all of a sudden with the intense desire to appease her. You do not want to let her down. The thought is devastating. You are not aware you tell her that you had applied to be her maid, but if that is what she wills, you would not be opposed to it. You pray that she forgives you, though, for your discombobulation. You come from a distant country and you have traveled for many miles. You know not where you are and you do not know who she is. What? You don't know who I am? It is regrettable you tell her, but no, you do not know her, though this is no fault of her own. Why, you have spent such a long time running, you hardly even know yourself. Ah, so you are a fugitive then from another country? I see. I won't pry into your past then, if you'd rather forget about it. I don't mind sharing my past with you, though. Everybody in this country knows who I am, after all, or at least they should. Now this is quite an impressive boast. If it were to come from the lips of another, you would find it unpleasantly arrogant. You do not think, however, that this girl is trying to show off. You get the feeling instead that she is merely telling you the truth. If you don't have the pleasure of knowing me, then allow me to do the honors. My father and my mother were the king and the queen of this realm, and I am its princess. I've lived in this castle all my life, so I don't know much about the outside world, but I know that all the countries do exist out there. I presume it is from one of the foreign countries that you come from. It is very good to see you. I've always wanted to talk to somebody from overseas. It feels like quite the opportunity. Gil giggles at this and you smile in response. You tell her unthinkingly that it is your pleasure, really, to meet her, or at least you mean to. You only get halfway through this remark when the full gravity of what the girl has told you sinks in. You come to a stop, then you stare. Did she just say she was a princess? Yes, that's right, I'm a princess, and one day I'll be a queen, after I've done a little bit of growing up. My ministers don't think I'm ready to run the country just yet, but I've been doing my best on my lessons. One day I'll be the best queen that ever was. So she really is a princess. That makes sense, I suppose, given she lives in a castle, but it comes as a surprise regardless. You hadn't known before you entered this chamber that you were trespassing on a lady of such great renown. Why, if she willed it, she could have you executed for your carelessness. An ugly red flush creeps up your face, a flush which is far more lurid than the princess's dress as you look to your feet. Bashfully you stammer out a new address, that you are very sorry for interrupting upon her and you hope that she can forgive you. Oh, it's alright, think nothing of it. I don't mind really. We all make mistakes, and anyway, you weren't to know. You said you weren't from around here. You nod your head in silent affirmation. It isn't a complete lie. You really are not from this country. You are not from this world at all. How wonderful! I'll look forward to picking your brain later. A lot of my servants come from the nearby village. Their tales are all the same, and so are their superstitions. I could do with a breath of fresh air. My last lady's maid told me I was too impetuous, but I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting a bit of adventure. Not that I've ever been afforded much of that. I've been shut up in here for so long I hardly ever get the chance to talk to other girls my age. My last lady's maid was older than me, and so was the one before her and the one before her. Some of the princess's fair mood seems to dissipate as she speaks, her expression turning by degrees into something rather more pensive. But I haven't seen any of my old lady's maids in a while, or any of the other servants for that matter. They've all disappeared. Now that is quite curious. How could a whole household full of servants simply disappear? That I don't know. This castle was full of servants once. My lady's maids and my undermaids and my scullery maids and my housekeeper and my cook and a largely region of retainers. They're all gone now though. I think my ministers must have sent them away. I don't know why they would have done that though. They didn't explain it to me. But then again, they never explain anything to me. They still treat me like a little girl. It is so tiring. She said that her minister sent her servants away. What of her parents, the king and the queen? Would they not be the ultimate authorities in the castle's hierarchy? They would, yes, if they were still alive. But they're not. They died a long time ago. I was raised for most of my life by my servants. Oh, you answered that. Then you flush. You hadn't known. It's alright, you don't need to apologize. I'm just happy that I have you now. I was getting sick and tired of her only having my doll to speak to. They aren't the best conversational partners. You can imagine, so yes, you doubt any doll, even one made by a talented artisan with an intelligent face, indistinguishable from a human's, would be very good at answering back. Oh no, they aren't. They're hopeless at it, really. They're so stony-lipped. You've no idea how much of a relief it is to see you. This castle is so big, and without my servant, it feels so very empty. It gets so lonely here. Now that is an interesting turn of phrase. It catches inside your head like a burr. Have you heard it before? You do not have much time to ponder this, however, because the prince is speaking anew, in that curiosity conversational manner of hers which does not seem particularly princessy. Maybe she learned how to speak from her servants. That would explain why her consonants are so unrefined. Oh, but listen to me, yammering on about. It's a bad habit. I really must put a stop to it. You're probably tired, the one, from your travels. Would you like me to show you to your room? Yes, the princess announces before you can say anything in reply. I think I'll just do that. I might show you a bit around the castle first. It's like amazing here, and I wouldn't want you getting lost. You'll be staying here for quite some time after all. The princess then hastens to take you on a tour of her home. Dobrze. Ale wycieczką po zamku zajmiemy się następnym razem. Piękna księżniczka. Już ją uwielbiam. Tak, czuję, że cały czas zmienia mi głos, ale boli mnie już głowa. I nie umiem czytać. Więc musicie mi wybaczyć. Ogólnie mam nadzieję, że wam się podobało. No już jest... No i że usłyszymy się następnym razem w następnym odcineczku, bądź na kolejnym live'ie. Pa, pa!